It's the one that they had back when.
Hi, morning everyone. Always nice to have you back for my live broadcast. Today is 25th November, Wednesday today. And topic today, we're going to talk about whether or not the bull is still running further. Is it going to running further? Because last night we see the US market. It made a decisive movement last night. Later we will check about the market performance first. Then we will know whether or not the market would continue soaring up. And then for US market, we got the energy stocks actually quite strong. If you check the energy sector, it is quite strong, right? So can we still buy the energy sector? Later we talk about. And then I will talk about the Singapore stocks worth your attention. Recently, I have shared with you several Singapore individual stocks, right? So maybe you keep monitoring, right? So later I will talk about them further. And then if you have stocks to diagnose, right? So you need to WhatsApp me privately the name of your stock. So recently it seems like I don't get anyone WhatsApp me. Is it because you feel that it's not comfortable to WhatsApp me privately, or if you prefer send your stocks in the comment zone, right? So maybe you let me know. If you don't mind WhatsApp me privately, then you WhatsApp me privately, right? But now I don't get your feedback, so I don't know what you want. So you still want me diagnose stocks for you or not? If you feel not necessary for me to diagnose your stocks, maybe in future I will consider cut this second part for individual stock diagnosis, right? So welcome to write in the comment zone. Do you still want me keep this sector? And if you still want me keep this sector, do you have a problem with watching at me the stocks privately? Okay, so before we begin, I still need to remind you that all the stocks mentioned in the video are for the purpose of demonstration and education, not recommendation. Investors should be aware of the risks involved in stock trading and take full responsibilities for their own tradings. All right, let's check the market performance. Last night, the US market made decisive movement for Dow Jones, right? Dow Jones, we see big rise yesterday, more than 1%, and we see the previous high back in January. The price already for the second time break up the high points in January this year, and the first time it break up a bit, but then corrected a bit recent several days. And last night is decisive movement, not only because it's the second time that the price taken the previous high in January, but also because you see last night the candle a gap up open. Can you see here's a small gap here, right? A gap up open to break the half level of this long bearish candle here directly. Previously, I have mentioned this level, right? So this is the half of this long bearish candle around 29,630, around that level, the half of this long bearish candle. Last night, the price break up in the form of gap up open. Upward gap break up directly and continue hit a new high. This is really the historical new high now for Dow Jones. So what's the information conveyed? The information conveyed is the upward momentum still is quite strong. We see the price never drop to touch the top of the previous upward gap here, right? So means the market has no intention to drop, at least for short term now. It doesn't intend to do that. So the upward momentum might remain. Of course, it cannot remain all the time, right? Sooner or later, the correction would come, but not likely now immediately. The big correction might come. Maybe tonight there is some small drops or sideways, or tonight even can continue going up. Who knows? But it's not very likely that the big correction might come in near future, unless let's say there is some sudden change tonight. Some let's say the price suddenly drop below the half of the long bearish candle again, and to touch the top of this previous upward gap again, then we would say that this is a false breakthrough. This is not a real successful breakthrough. But if it would not happen tonight or in near future, then means the upward momentum would remain for a while before the correction come. All right, so that's for Dow Jones. Not only Dow Jones, we see even this is S&P 500. This is Nasdaq. Sorry, I didn't give you the name, right? But this is Nasdaq. All right. This is for Nasdaq. We see yesterday also the price break up the significant resistance level around 11,900. I mentioned before, this is the high price of the previous yellow Tai Chi signal. This is also the high price, the previous high here, and also this is the half level of this long bearish candle here. That's why I said this is a very significant resistance, and previously Nasdaq has remained below the level, even with the good news about the COVID-19 vaccines, right? But last night, that's a decisive movement because price successfully break up the strongest resistance here after some sideways here for roughly around 1 week sideways around the level. Then finally, yesterday break up. This is a significant movement, means the market is quite strong. For short term, in near future, the momentum might remain. All right, and then for S&P 500, I don't want to check here because it's just the in between Dow Jones and Nasdaq. I mean the upward momentum. Dow Jones currently is the strongest, and Nasdaq until now it seems to be the weakest, right? Because the high tech companies recently didn't perform that well. But then S&P is in between. It's not that strong. It's not that weak. It's just in between Dow Jones and Nasdaq. And then S&P also reached the previous high, about to break up. Okay, so then this is the general market performance for the US. Then for our Singapore market, I already mentioned the previous downward gap, right? So now the price is heading toward. The price now is heading toward the gap. The previous gap. Let me check the current price. This morning, the price used to shoot to a very high level, right? But now it began to drop. Now we have a small doji. It's not as strong as the market when the market opened, right? Okay, so this is also understandable, right? Because this is the resistance area, for STI, and the top of this downward gap here is around 2,960, right? So that's a very significant resistance level for our STI. If US remain quite strong, maybe our STI can continue soaring to touch the level. Then we would see the market reaction, whether or not the momentum can remain so strong to break up the resistance directly, or faced with resistance and able to break up with a drop first, and how forceful the correction can be in future. It depends on, let's say, we cannot talk now. We should wait until by that moment, then we can talk. Okay, but now it seems like the market is going to head toward 2,960, the strongest resistance, the immediate strongest resistance for our STI. All right. Then after checking the market performance, we see if the upward momentum still remain, right? So what stocks to look at? And then for US market, recently the electric vehicles have been quite strong, but it's not wise to chase after the rally, right? And then you might be wondering what stocks to look at or to consider in future. Okay, so for US market, apart from the EV sector, right, there is another sector which is quite strong. This sector is the energy sector. Okay, the energy sector it has remained quite strong because if you check the oil price, now I'm showing you the oil price, right? So here, this circled candle, that's January, right? So January 2020, that's the previous high, and after January, influenced by the COVID-19, big jump, right? Big plunge, and then actually when the market touched the bottom here, and then until now the general direction is upward, and recently there is a correction here, remain roughly 2 or 3 weeks, roughly maybe near 1 month here, right? So the price sideways for oil, and then last night you see that's a breakthrough of the previous high here, the small high. Okay, this is a period high point. Last night is a big rise to $45.37. Okay, and the price break up the previous high, hit a new high means, and then of course the current price level is around the previous low, and we see previously a lot of candles at this level, means a lot of transactions, right, around the price level. This would still be some sort of resistance. But if the upward momentum can remain, the price break up the previous low resistance level around the $45.37, right? And then it would go up further, maybe to try to challenge the previous high in January. So we have a rising space here if the price break up the current resistance level. Okay, so this is for crude oil, right? The price for oil, and the energy sector is of course influenced by the performance of oil. That's why I want to check the oil price first, and then if we continue to check the individual stocks, energy stocks, number one biggest capital market, biggest capital for the US market would be CVX-Chevron, right? So let's go to the software to check the performance for the energy stocks. Okay, so Chevron recently has been quite strong, the performance, but it's if you check, it's quite high, right? So people are thinking, well, is it still safe to chase after it, right? So let me change to multicolor dragon, then rainbow, right? So CVX. Chevron. Okay, so yesterday already gave us the birth of dark horse, right? Give us the birth of dark horse. Actually, here is also a sideway, the previous high platform. The previous high here. This is also the white line, the last white line, right? And last night the price already break up the resistance. Of course, for short term, it's already very high. So whether or not we should chase after it. Okay, so it depends on your own risk appetite and your capacity to handle risks. I mentioned this already for many times because different people, the strategies you take should be different because your situation is different. Different people, different situation. So you mainly need to check your own risk appetite and your capacity to handle risks. Means, let's say if you are the conservative type, right? So you don't want to take very big risks, and then of course you can give up this kind of potentiality in future because it's already high for Chevron. Of course, the upward momentum is very strong, right? It's very strong now, but is it worthwhile chasing after if you are the conservative type and your capacity to handle risks is not very strong, right? And of course, you give up the potential rallies in future. That's a very wise choice. That's a very good choice to take. But if you are the conservative, you are the aggressive type, right? So you are good at short-term trading, short-term speculation, and your capacity means your capacity to handle risks is very strong, right? And this pattern here actually tell you the upward momentum is strong because the price just break up the significant resistance level. And also the big boys quite strong now. Multicolor dragon tell you now the big boys is above 50%, no retailer. So if you check the indicators, it's quite strong. And also you see this is a previous downward gap. Last night the price also break up the previous downward gap, which is the strong resistance. That's why the price remain sideways around the level for a while because that's the previous downward gap, strong resistance. And finally, the price break up the strongest resistance level with energy supply quite sufficient. So for short term, if you want to do some speculation, maybe the upward momentum can remain recently. And you want to do some short-term speculation, can do, but there is a precondition. Your capacity to handle risks is very strong. Means if the market move against your favor, right? It doesn't move in your favor, then you should stop loss without hesitation, without any hesitation. If you cannot do that, then better not to touch. But if you can, you are very well self-disciplined to execute your stop loss strategies you have made in advance, right? And then you want to do some speculation here to chase after the strong upward momentum, can try. But you should also control your position. Don't put too much money in because it's really high for short term. But in future, if after some rally, maybe a drop, and then get support at the support levels below, then turn upward again. Also, you can consider buy more to hold for medium term to long because energy stocks, just like the banks, they are the stocks of value, which previously didn't go up. They were at the bottom for a while. The price very low and valued. So these stocks in future, if economy recover, these stocks would go up. Their general direction would be upward. So you want to consider buy and hold for medium term to long, can try. That's a good choice, good strategy to take, right? Of course, if you want to hold these stocks, you cannot expect the rally so strong as the EV stocks all the time. But, it may not be that crazy, right? These stocks, banks and also the energy stocks may not be that crazy, but they are quite safe and profit also quite handsome. I mean, if the market really is going upward for medium term to long, then they are quite safe to hold. Okay, so this is for Chevron, right? So we see the price seems like a bit high for short term. So you need to decide yourself whether or not you want to chase after it. But the upward momentum might remain in near future. And then the second one is called XOM, right? So this one is still below the white lines of homely rainbow, right? So it's not that high for short term. Relatively speaking, compared with Chevron, it's not that high. And what we see is yesterday, the price successfully break up the blue lines of homely rainbow, and the retailers gone completely. Retailers gone completely. Big boys increased to be more than 25%. Now it's heading toward 50% here. The pattern here is a beautiful one. And if we check the resistance levels above, do we have resistance? Okay, so if we check the resistance level, currently the price is going to touch the strongest resistance. So if the price can break up the resistance level here, this area, right? This area is the strongest resistance area for this XOM, and the top is around $43.33. So if the price break up this level, then we see the level between 43 and 33 and 63.80. That's open space. The resistance in between the two levels not that strong, means the resistance above would be a very little one, unless the price really reached the strongest resistance around $63. Okay, so this is the open space, the rising space in future, the potential rising space. So if you want to try this, right? Firstly, if you don't want to wait until the price break up the strongest resistance, you want to buy earlier, okay, you can try. But don't forget, if the price unable to break up the $43.33, if price touch the level unable to break up, maybe you need to consider leave first for short term, or you can decide then. By that moment, then you can decide based on the situation there whether or not you need a stop loss first, right? If you want to enter earlier before the price really break up the resistance, because if the price break up, you would think, well, it becomes high again, just like Chevron just now, right? It become high again for short term, right? So this one may have great potentiality in future. The resistance level, current resistance level, the top is around $43.33. Okay, so that's for Chevron, and there is another one called RDS. This one, now the price also has reached the white lines of homely rainbow, and if we check the chip distribution, the price now already break up the strongest resistance in the form of an upward gap. The price break up the resistance level by after an upward gap, right? And next level, strongest resistance actually is far away, around $56. So recently, let's say for short term, right? For short term, the price is currently we have a upward gap after yesterday, right? So what you can do is for short term, if you are looking to buy for short term, right? This upward gap, as long as this gap, the price remain, let's say the support here remain, this gap, the support around the gap is remains, then we are quite safe. Means if in near future even the price it dropped, but it never dropped below the bottom of this upward gap. Then the upward momentum is still there. For short term, is still is quite strong. This is also a good one because we just now we checked the rising space. That's a good rising space, and also we have big boys take control 50%, more than 50%. Remember, the most important thing for technical analysis is money flow. As long as the share has money flow in continuously, then the energy supply would be sufficient. Then the price can remain strong for a longer time. And then who has the biggest amount of money? Of course, the big boys. That's why multicolored dragon, MCD, this indicator is very important for you to check. Because by checking it, you will know whether or not this share has big boys participant. If big boys are there, then of course the energy supply would be sufficient. All right, so this is the US market energy stocks, which have been quite strong, maybe also have great potentiality in future for you to pay attention. And then how about Singapore market? For Singapore market, recently I have talked about several stocks. One is OLAM, right? Remember I talked about OLAM. When I was talking about OLAM, that's around 23rd November, right? So recent to this, it has been quite strong, and I hope you have captured it. And how about today? I didn't check today. When I was checking, actually, it also went up a bit. OLAM, let me. And apart from OLAM, I also have talked about several other like unusual, right? Just like this one, unusual. Later we check unusual. We check OLAM first. 032. Oh yes, today surprised me again. Another big upward gap. So for short term, this one has been quite strong, right? So this is for OLAM, and of course you want to chase after it now. That's not a good choice. But if you have followed my videos recently, you have been able to catch this rally recent 3 or 4 days. Recent 4 days, you would be able to catch it. And then the other one is unusual 1D1, right? 1D1, this one. This morning it has soared to a very high level, but a drop. Now we have a long upper shadow. It means above we have resistance. Where is the resistance? So 1D1, 1D1. Resistance is the white lines of homely rainbow. I have mentioned, right? The white lines would be some sort of resistance, because that's the long-term trend lines, right? Of course, there would be some sort of resistance. And even if the price is unable to break up immediately, that's understandable, right? But I have mentioned this one. The pattern here is very beautiful, because that's the long time narrow sideway area, and with big boys already entered directly more than 50%. The moment the big boys entered, that's more than 50%. The energy supply is quite strong, and recent several days trying to break up the white lines of homely rainbow. And then if we check the significant resistance levels above, previously I already have you checked actually. That's you see, ever since the price break up, the next target level is quite far away. If this is if we check a very long time, even if we check a shorter time, right? So we have some sort of resistance here, not that strong, small resistance, until the price reach 27 cents. That's the very strong resistance above. But now we have a rising space here, right? So the pattern here is very beautiful. So with energy supply, higher probability the price might be able to break up the white line's resistance and then continue going up. So this one still has potentiality in future. Okay, so I also have talked about this Sembcorp industry, because Sembcorp industry, we say this is the safest type. Stocks stronger than index because they are in uptrend all the time, and with big boys take control for a while, quite stable. And we have the first race cycle 2 days ago, right? So yesterday it went up, and today U96. Okay, so today is still a drop a bit, but it's quite stable there, quite safe. And also I have mentioned about iFast. iFast also it's a sideways yesterday and today until now it remains sideways there, right? But it's quite stable, it's quite safe. Unless, let's say, the worst thing that might happen would be the price a drop. Let me go to I first. The price a drop, right? A drop to touch the red circle, turn to white circle. Then I stop loss. My cost level for I first is on this day $3.57. That's my cost level, $3.57. Now it's $3.71. So I would still keep holding because I am the disciplined investor, trader. I will follow the indicators. So I have confidence to follow the indicators because I have used this software for many years. So I know the success rate very well of this software. So I have monitored numerous stocks, and the software turned out to be very high success rate. So I have 100% confidence in it. That's why I can keep holding, even if the price it didn't go up now. Okay, so this is the safe type because I shared with you I'm a bit conservative oriented. I'm not a very aggressive investor. Although I know some stocks for short-term speculation might give you quite handsome profit, 10%, 20%, even 30% in just several days. But that's just not my type. Okay, that's not my piece of cake. You need to find your own trading style, your own risk appetite, and also the most important thing is you need to set up your own effective trading system, just like what I have done. I'm now sharing with you my trading system, my analysis. Okay, so for Homely, right? So if you are Homely member, so our target would be to help you set up your own effective trading system, because this Homely software has a lot of indicators. By combining different indicators, you can set up your own. You can set up a trading system which suits you the best. And Homely's goal is to help you set up your own trading system, to help you master your own trading system very well, and also to improve your own trading system. Okay, so if you are interested in Homely, maybe you can consider attend our seminars to know further about our training. Also, you can contact me privately to know more details about this software, how this software works. And if you want to diagnose your stocks, more of your individual stocks, you also can contact me privately so that I can share with you more details to see whether or not Homely software, Homely training classes can really help you find your own way to success in the stock market. Alright, so if you are intending to try several of our seminars, today is Wednesday, right? So tonight, we actually have one session open. This is open for public. And this one is 7 to 9 p.m. tonight. If you're interested in this seminar, you can WhatsApp me your name, and I can help you register for free for this seminar. It's on Zoom. This seminar is on Zoom. We'll talk about how to grab the year-end opportunity, right? So if you're not available for today, this Saturday we have 2 seminars, all open for public. In the morning one, that's 10:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. That one is follow the rhythm of the volatile market to trade. Okay, so in the morning in English, and in the afternoon there is another one in Mandarin. It will talk about the global market outlook 2020 to 2021. Okay, so for these seminars, if you are interested, you WhatsApp me privately to register for free. All right, so that's all for my sharing today. But before we finish, right, don't forget to support me on Facebook. This is my public page, and more likes would be appreciated. Will be greatly appreciated. You can also, I would appreciate even greater if you can share this video with your friends, and your support will be my biggest motivation. All right, that's all for today. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. Bye bye.